What's going on, YouTube? Today, Stormcall. I'm going to redo it. I'm going to re-theory it. Soul Cell Found. I just recently put out a video for it, and I'm going to just give it my all with this. I died 3 times in the Mayhem race yesterday, and Twitch took it upon themselves to vote for me to play Solo Self-Found Hardcore today. So that's what we're doing. I had a really good run in Mayhem. I just did not make it past Katava. This race is no joke, people. This race is no joke. If you made it past Katava and you have those wall builds that just don't die and deal a ton of damage, the power creep in terms of experience is just insane, and good for you for accomplishing that. I've never given Soul Self-Found a dedicated, like, real chance. I've tried it once on an Ice Shot character, and I found a Lionized Glare. It was great. So this go around, I'm going to try it for real and in a good racing environment. To make up for yesterday, I have a feeling that Solo Self-Found is in at least a similar situation to what I experienced yesterday with the ability to trade. So with that said, let's do this. Alright, so for Solo Self-Found purposes, the getting quality on this is pretty important. It is 10% AoE. The minor nodes on a tree are 8%, right? 8%, so it's like getting 1 skill point on the tree, quality this better than 1 skill point at 20% quality. It gets base radius upon level up. In fact, we reach 6 radius quite early, so level 18, which means this is good with a plus to lightning staff. So crafting this, we would probably want to go Dark Mage if we're going Soul Self-Found. Dark Mage PoE. So right now, it's all about farming one specific zone, and that's how divination cards function. And with all the monster density in IIQ, it drops in Overgrown Ruin and Overgrown Shrine. I'm pretty sure it drops in Chamber of Sins level 2 as well. Because it's item level 55 and it's a 6-link staff, this is how you cruise. Now, playing with a staff is a little bit shitty because you have to use... You could still use Flame Dash as your one of your main ways to go, but you're not using Shield Charge. So to generate Fortify, the best way in my experiences is either to go Charge Dash with like faster attacks, Fortify, and all you have to do is just hold Q for literally 0.1 of a second, and then whatever is near you, because you're stacking AoE for Stormcall, your Charge Dash will get also AoE, and you could just get a Fortify like that. While Leap Slam is good for jumping over terrain and jumping into monsters, you're not really playing a melee spell like Blade Vortex, so it doesn't really work in this instance. And you have to wait for the animation, which requires attack speed. So that means you need also to have on your 6-link staff, which you're trying to get plus to levels of lightning gems, you also need to get attack speed, which is just clunky. Whereas Charge Dash, which is a new skill by the way, it functions pretty well for spellcasters. It has a 40% more attack speed multiplier, so for every 1% increased attack speed you put on this, it's actually 1.4, which is great. So now as a spellcaster, if you get a little bit of attack speed or faster attacks get scaled well from this support gem, you could get Fortify quite easily for a staff build. This is a pretty interesting function, and it worked out well for my Whispering Ice build. So, Vigilant Strike doesn't need accuracy, but you also have to play name locking, and you have to... I guess Vigilant Strike may work. You know what? I'll give it to you, Hicks. In this case, I will try out Vigilant Strike. I will try out Vigilant Strike for you, and I'll use Flame Dash for terrain scaling. So, Hicks, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on this one. You have 100% accuracy. I cannot refute that. Dark Mage for sure. Alright, so support gems. Are we going crit or not crit? If we're going crit, it's Inquisitor, and I don't want to because they're nerfing Valpact. I would prefer to play the non-crit game, which means I'd rather be Ascendant or Elementalist. And because I already crafted Elementalist, let's try out Ascendant. I've never played Ascendant, period, ever. So I've been waiting for that one build, and I guess Ascendant is in the middle here, right? We got Witch, Marauder, Ranger. So those are our 3 main colors, and then our hybrid colors. You know, Shadow Templar Duelist, and Cyan is the TN. She is Izaro evolved, I guess you can say. So what are we going to do? Solo Self-Found fits the theme well. I want to go Elementalist, guaranteed, which means we choose Scion. This will be Reduced Reflect, so we don't have to go Valpact. If we do decide to go crit, let's see. Could I still kill myself to reflect? So this is a hybrid crit, but not Inquisitor crit. And it's getting a lot of int. We can also go... I love Raider. Say what you want about Raider, dude. 20% attack and cast speed and movement speed when wearing a staff is going to be incredible. Plus an additional 10% base. And you gain frenzy charges against hits and rares. Like, that's so freaking good. People do not realize how amazing frenzy charges are against bosses. They're everything. And it also solves all my dex problems. Let's see. This is interesting. Let me see what we could do with this. If I choose Path of the Ranger, we get here, which is attack speed. Avoiding being stunned with Stormcall is amazing. And then there's Acro over here. And we can go... Is there anything over here other than that? Well, there's Frenzy Charges. But there's nothing here that benefits me. This is okay. We're not playing a physical spell. If we were playing a physical spell, this would be incredible. But we are not. So that is the only option we have for Path of Ranger, sadly. I guess I could get Charisma, but I don't need that either. There's really no dex benefit to Lightning. So, let's just see how this works. Alright, so we have this and this. Mind over Matter, but I still think it's... Is it better to get the mana or the regen? So the regen means Blood Rage. And then you could sustain going with the Raider node. I think regen is better. We do not want skill effect duration. We don't need curses. Yes, we get this wheel. If we're really worried about reflect, we could do this. It seems right now I'm going the non-crit variant, which means we will go elemental overload, but we're going to go shock. We are going to stack shock chance. Okay, we go like this. We go here, and we go here. Maybe here. 71 points already. Alright, so this means we go Herald of Thunder, Wrath. So this Essence Worm would be best, but we're playing Soul Self-Found. Always have to remember Soul Self-Found. So Herald of Thunder, Wrath, we have to Theory Round, which means we're going to need some reduced mana reserve, or I don't use Herald of Thunder. Wrath is pretty damn good. It is, what, 15%? 18%? Let's see. Actually, Herald of Thunder will probably be better. Wrath, PoE. Wrath is 21 more lightning spell damage for 50% of your mana reserve, which means that this is half of a support gem's worth of damage. That's it. It's half of a support gem's worth of damage. Let's see what Herald of Thunder is. Herald of Thunder. Stormcall's damage effectiveness is 0.8, so this damage is at 0.8 the value. So let's see, 19 plus 76 divided by 2 multiplied by 0.8. So 38 average damage to Stormcall. Let's see Stormcall's average damage. Now, Stormcall itself, this damage is never affected by damage effectiveness, which means plus to levels on your staff is so insane, because look at this. From level 20 to 25, you're getting nearly 400 top end and 150 low end. That's so good for average damage, especially considering how lightning damage is so freaking variant. If you look here at Stormcall, it's a bit more average. The low end is pretty high and the high end is pretty low, which means it's more consistent hits, which is great for shock chance. If you have streaky lightning damage, it's awesome when it happens, but when it doesn't, you could probably scale it high enough to really still kill monsters, you know? White pack, so it doesn't matter. But bosses, you really feel it. With a consistent damage, and because you just place them really quick and they blow up in succession, the first one hits, it applies a shock. The next one will hit, it will apply a bigger shock because the one before it shocked the monster, which creates this chain reaction of bigger and bigger stacking shocks, which is why reduced duration is not only good as a multiplier, it gives 19% more damage, which is Wrath, right? This same as Wrath, but it also reduces the duration, or less duration, This is like such a mandatory support gem, like Spell Echo, Less Duration, and then probably like Control Destruction, Lightning Pen, something along those lines. Just because 49% less skill effect duration, halves the time in which this blows up. This takes 1.5 seconds. Now it takes 0.75 seconds to deal damage. You can wait 0.75 seconds. That's less than a second. I mean, come on. Really gonna... You should have... That is... You're speeding up Stormcall is cleared potentially by 2 times. You're multiplying its freaking clear speed. Because if the first 2 just blow up a white pack, that's done. Boom, 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 boom. Like, right away. So anyways, back to seeing what its base damage is before we go off onto that tangent. Bring it on back. Let's look at this average damage here. 341 to 633 I think is fair, because I looked at level 20 Herald of Thunder. 341. Sorry, moving forward because I like to see. I get all mathematical. I don't know why I do that. Whenever I do my homework, I do the same thing. Divided by 2. The average damage is 487 for this, and we don't apply the damage effectiveness. So we have 38 over 487. Alright, so 38 over 487, which yields 7%. So Herald of Thunder only gives 7% base damage as a level 20. Where Wrath, a multiplier, so let's see, gives 21 and 21. So this times 1.2, that's how much extra average damage it will give. 487 times, no, 0.21 will give us an average damage of 102. Whereas Herald of Thunder only gives us an average damage of 38. So percentage-wise, 102 over 487. It's 21%. So 2 times the reserve for 3 times the damage effectiveness. However, Herald of Thunder is a action that will then deal 27 to 1303 lightning damage for 6 seconds, which cannot apply shock. But it does scale off of shock. So I think Herald of Thunder Clarity is better. But I did not know that. So now I know Herald of Thunder is under 80% damage effectiveness. Herald of Thunder is a third effectiveness as Wrath in terms of base damage. So now you know it's always around. So that means it's slightly above a third damage effectiveness comparatively to Wrath on a 1-to-1 scale. That's pretty shit. That's really shit. But that's the way you gotta think. So Herald of Thunder I still think is worth it because of the spell. Alright, let's theory this. Let's continue theorying this. Alright, I need to figure out... We're definitely going into here. This is like such a gimme. All that AoE. All that AoE. Which means I want to go Shock. The only way you ever go Shock here is if you're going Eldritch Battery or Essence Surge. Like, otherwise this is just not effective. This is incredible because it's already attached to Herald of Thunder. I guess we can come this way. Do that. I'm not going crit. I'm going shock, chance, and duration because it has a shock effectiveness. Flask effect. Quartz Flask is a mandatory flask in my opinion for this, but this would make it 13%-ish. Not even, just shy of 13% dodge and spell dodge. It's not really worth unless I find a Wise Oak. I am playing Soul Self-Found, so that's a good luck with that one. I can go like this. We could try and work that out because now we can rare Wrath, and Wrath will also get affected by this. And right here is pretty good because we get effective shock, which stacks with our Stormcall. That's not bad in mana regeneration. What is my HP? That is like the most important thing. 186, but I have a ton of mana for Mind Over Matter. I need to get like one more HP wheel, I feel. This is better than this now. I don't need any dex, really. I'm not using Ice Bite. I would use Blood Rage. I have this, which is 1% regen. And this is actually coming out pretty handy because it's giving me a good amount of HP. Hey, what's up, Swanix? Dude, I died yesterday. 3 times. Died 3 times. This race is no joke. It's fun. It's a little demoralizing at times. I died to Katava, which is like... Katava, it's like you made it there, dude. You made it. Just to get smacked down, eaten up, chewed up, spit out again. Feels Katava, man. It's the sad truth. That guy is just so imba. They'll probably tune him a little bit before the next league because he is just incredibly difficult under the right circumstances. So I could go into here. This is life and mana regen. This is just janky, but this is assuming I hit 115. Oh, look who it is. Come on. Psst, psst. Hurry up. We gotta finish up this YouTube video, Oscar. Come on. He wants to say hi before I go. So this is my Stormcall YouTube video guide. I'm going to upload this. We're going to roll this character. I'm going to play Sell Itself Found, give it a go. Hope everyone's having a good day today. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Cheers. See you next video.